Alrighty, so I would have done this quicker, but we just had a tornado warning run through our area and a heck of a pounding with the rainfall. But welcome to another episode of Inspired Content, Creative Prompts section, where we'll be taking a look at the hostess dessert thingies that I just tried. It's the limited edition creamsicle. Well, it's the orange cream Twinkie, the Moonberry Twinkie, and the Mermaid cupcake. And these are the ideas that inspired. But before we get into that, I want to state from the get-go that the Moonberry actually does have a taste that's more apparent when you've put it in the refrigerator and eaten it cold. Not cold, it's not a freezer food. Although that would be I'd be curious to see if we could do that. I do feel like the orange cream one, I put that in the fridge and tried it that way too, and I felt like it had less taste. Whereas the Moonberry, you actually taste there's something there. I want to say it made me think of like a passion fruit or I don't want to say mango. I always mix the two up. Might even be pineapple. I can't tell. But there is distinctly something there. And it's a mildly tropical or at least fruity flavor to it. The orange one didn't seem to have anything additional and actually seemed like it was diminished by cooling it. I wonder if freezing it would make a difference. I may give those a try too. Not that it matters. At this point, I'm really kind of quite sick of them. They're very, very fake tasting and very sugary. And then the Mermaid one, no change. I mean, it just tastes like a cupcake. It's just decorated differently. It doesn't really do much for me. But the ideas I have for things we could do with some of this. So I feel like one of the things we could potentially do to alter the Moonberry flavor, I mean, it's still very, very subtle, but it's there when it's cold. I feel like the cake is too much of a pound cake style cake, I think, for what I would like. I would like something a little more angel food cake with not just a regular angel food cake, but like a blueberry flavored angel food with a blueberry cream. And I think I would enjoy that fairly much. That's idea number one. Idea number two, the cream that they use in the middle of these, I feel like is somewhere between a cross between, have you ever had like a, what is it? Like the chocolates with the oozy cream filling? That's very much what it feels like. Mixed a little bit with a marshmallow fluff, but it's way runnier than a marshmallow fluff. It's way more liquid. And it has a very kind of vegetable oil flavor to it. And what I would really like is to make a cream filling that's like a mousse, a fresh made mousse. And so I'd love to see like how that would carry differently. I mean, it's going to be wetter inside of a cake like that if you use it as a filling. But I mean, like a Boston cream or a jelly-filled donut is pretty liquid compared to these fillings. I imagine you could get away with a mousse or even a whipped cream, like a flavored whipped cream I'd go for too. So number three, here's another thought for a different filling, and this changes this a whole lot. I'm not sure how to pull it off, but I would love to see how something like this changes if you were to fill it with a frozen yogurt. Like, you give me a frozen yogurt wrapped in a angel food or a pound cake, light, thin layer of cake around it, like the different flavors you can get on a frozen yogurt. Like, I don't know if Twinkie does this or not, but they should think about it. Is doing ice cream, like frozen yogurt cakes, like an ice cream cake in the freezer section of the deli, or dairy section of the grocery store. So yeah, I think there's, especially during the hot summer months, being able to fill a cake dessert with like a frozen yogurt or an ice cream would be really good. Number 4. As near as I can tell, the orange creamsicle one is a plain cake filled with an orange cream. And I feel like what I would want to have is an orange flavored cake. Like, you can do a lemon poppy seed cake. There's no reason why you can't do an orange cake and make an orange cake and do a whipped chocolate filling. Like, orange and chocolate go really nicely together, and I think that would be a really good combination for a cake with some kind of cream in the middle. And then 5, this is sort of out of the blue. It's not inspired by any of, well, it's sort of inspired by the fact that I was trying these out, but like, if I wanted a flavor of Twinkie, I would want a root beer flavored cake with a vanilla ice cream, like a vanilla bean flavored cream in the middle, and make me a root beer float Twinkie. That it would be probably pretty sweet and nauseating, but I'd still buy it in a heartbeat to taste test it. So, and then as I was talking a little bit earlier, for number 6, you can do lemon cake. So if you can do a lemon kind of cake, like you don't have to do like a lemon poppy seed, but if you want to top it with something, like I found the fondant they use and the decorative stuff they used on these mermaid cakes to be, it's just pure sugar paste. It's really not adding anything to it other than making it sickly sweet. I feel like if you could make a lemon cake and make a filling, and this is what makes me think more, it's something that gives me a more of a flavor of, would mesh with my feelings on what a mermaid cake should be, would be a lemon cake, just like a hint of lemon flavor to a light, maybe even a little vanilla in there, and then a filling of melon, like a honeydew, maybe a little bit of watermelon. I feel like if you were to do this, what you would probably want to do is lemon cake. If you want to make like the icings and everything on it, you would do a lemon cake, maybe with like a funfetti to it. And then you could use a very light flavored, almost like a watermelon seltzer for the filling, and it make it sort of like, it's not, you don't want to use a seltzer, but like make a aerated light foam, a whipped cream, if you will, a watermelon flavored whipped cream, but not a fake watermelon flavor. You want it mostly to still taste like a cream with just a hidden hint in the background. The key to doing this, I think, is having very light flavors, very aerated textures, and then like on top you could do a very kind of like a whipped frosting that would be something like a hint of honeydew, maybe a little cantaloupe in there. So like the melons are a very light, subtle flavor, and a hint of lemon into the cake would get you something that's just very light and airy, but moist and soft in your mouth, with this sort of refreshing tone that melon can oftentimes carry. And I think that with the coloring and the theming could really give a sense of like a mermaid theme. I feel like what we got right there, like the melons especially, are going to lend it a very watery sense. If you were to try to do something more aerated and maybe herbal would be something that you could do for an air or a fairy. And so like there are things you can do to evoke a certain sense of water, air. Like you could do something spicy for fire. I don't know what you would do for earth. I think that would be like a very heavy, dense cake. Very much like a quick bread almost, with a yogurty texture to it. Yeah, you could do one for each of those kinds of things. But I think for the mermaid, I like a lemon cake with a whipped watermelon mousse almost. Maybe even do like a watermelon grape mousse, and then for a white grape, because it's mostly just a little light sweetness, and then the icing, if you want an icing on it and you don't want to use like the honeydew on the internal filling with the watermelon, you could do a honeydew flavored whipped topping to give it a lighter, almost like a seafoam feel to it. And then sure, put some decorative candy pearls or something, and yeah, just something like that. I think that would have been a better approach. There was no flavor that I could really pick out of that cupcake. It was just a vanilla cupcake with coloring and sprinkles, like sugar crystals on it. And I found that kind of disappointing. All right, so those are the ideas I got for this. Hopefully there's some inspiration for tinkering with some recipes of your own. And if you make anything with any of these ideas, or you think any of these ideas are so bad that you know how to do it better, please share it and let me know. Thanks for joining me on this one. I will see you for the next episode. Take care.